Kamen Rider Z is gonna air soon, so before it does, I decided why not try to do some predictions on how the story will develop. Knowing that the show is written by Yuya Takahashi, who did Ex-Aid, 01 and Geats, my predictions will feature some writing tropes he is known for, mixed together with some traditional Kamen Rider story beats and my own wild guesses. And the most fun part is that in the end of the video, I will put all these on a bingo board which I will fill out during my episode reviews throughout the year. You guys can use it too. So let's begin. Christmas Death. Shows written by Yuya Takahashi always has a character that dies in an episode that airs on or near Christmas, the most famous being Kirya Kujo. So I feel like that tradition will continue. Evil version of heroine. In Yuya Takahashi shows, the main heroine will usually get an evil counterpart or gets brainwashed into being evil, such as Azu, Black Sumuri, and Brainwashed Poppy. So I think there is a very high chance of seeing an evil clone of Nemu, or at least having her turn into the dark side for a bit. Zero has a secret. This one isn't based on any of Yuya's tropes. I just think that this talking bike mentor definitely has some kind of secret that he is keeping away from Baku. It could be something malicious, like the nightmares used to be humans, or something more innocent, like Baku has some kind of traumatic past that he has forgotten, like how Emu wasn't aware he was Patient Zero. Evil Father. A reoccurring trope in Kamen Rider. I'm not too confident that this trope will appear, especially if they are keeping the amount of riders small in the show, but who knows, maybe Baku's father created a capsule system or something. So long as one of the main cast has an evil dad, then it fits. It doesn't matter if he transforms or not. Revivals. This one is pretty much guaranteed if it's written by Takahashi. In Ex-Aid, people can easily revive as Bugs the Data. In 01, since a lot of the cast are robots, they can just be rebuilt. And in Geats, we have Ace being revived at least 2 times. Plus, the future people can easily revive if they're killed. Due to this, a lot of people say that death is meaningless in Yuya shows, since a lot of them will be revived later on, or revivals are too easy to do. Code is evil. A pretty standard Kamen Rider trope. I'm pretty sure that Code, the secret organization that Baku is working as a spy for, has some kind of ulterior motive for taking down the nightmares. I'll be very surprised if this isn't the case. Childish Guy learns empathy. A character archetype that appeared in all of Yuya Takahashi's shows. If you've seen them, you would know what I'm talking about. Some childish guy like Powder, Jin, and Jean will learn to have genuine empathy for other people's well-being and learn the value of life. Perhaps even transform. Female Tertiary. Both 01 and Geats had female tertiary riders, so I'll say that there is a pretty high chance of that trend continuing. It'd be nice to get another one, since Gav had a male tertiary. Text finishers. I suppose this one depends more on the action director instead of Yuya, who is a writer. But Ex-Aid and 01 both had on-screen text for whenever they did a finishing move. Geats lacks this, so I kinda doubt that this will appear in the show. Nox has a grudge. I think Nox will definitely have a grudge against somebody who he will want revenge over. Maybe somebody trapped him in the dream world a long time ago and he wants to kill them. Or perhaps he has a grudge against Zero. I think that would be interesting to see. Amnesia. I was gonna say Nox has amnesia, but I feel like I already have a lot of Nox focused predictions already, so I'm making this more broad, just so it has more of a chance of becoming true. So, if anybody in the cast has or gets amnesia for some reason, it counts. Could be Baku, could be Nox, or maybe even Nemu. Nox turns into a monster. Pretty self-explanatory. I feel like him being trapped in the dream world for so long would either give him the ability to change into a monster, or at some point in the story, he will turn into a monster, like Lord Baron or the real Malgam. I feel like he will turn into a monster before he becomes Kamen Rider Yaz. Final Form Waist Belt. So we all know at this point that the Z's driver is worn across the chest instead of the waist. I feel like the final form will have to be a waist belt, just so it can harken back to tradition. I'm thinking that Z's final form will have him wear 2 drivers, the Z's driver on his chest and the final form belt on his waist. That way, it will form a Z on his body, symbolizing his name. Alternatively, he uses the Z's driver to transform into his final form, but he will gain a cosmetic belt that has no electronics. Think Velen or Vice's belt buckles. For some reason, I feel confident that this theory will become true. Minami gets kidnapped. I think Baku's sister will be kidnapped by the villains at some point. I wanted to say that she will die and then get revived, but I think getting kidnapped is more realistic. Berserker form. We haven't had a Berserker form in quite a while. Even during Geats, all Boost Mach 2 did was make Ace feel tired, so maybe they will bring back this trope. Opening visuals will get referenced. Yuya Takahashi shows will always bring an element from the openings into the show in some fashion. In X8, this scene in the opening is referenced in the final episode, while 01 created the character of Azu to explain this shot, and Geats had Sumui shoot Ace with the Magnum shooter, just like in the opening. I am confident that the same thing will happen in Zets. Heroine is not human. I think that they're gonna reveal that Nemu is not human at some point, or she becomes non-human. Poppy is a bugster, Izu is a Humagear, Sumuri is a future person, and Neon was created by the goddess of creation. I guess the latter is kinda debatable, but whatever. Zero was a human. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I'm pretty confident that this talking bike is actually a human who transferred his consciousness into this machine, much like Mr. Belt from Kamen Rider Drive. There's also a good chance that he keeps this a secret from Baku for some time, which coincides with my Zero has a secret prediction. Baku creates a power-up. In X8 and Geats, the protagonist creates a power-up gimmick at some point in the story. Emu created the Mighty Brothers and Maximum Mighty Gashets, and Ace created the Boost Mach 2 and Geats 9 waist buckles. I think Baku will somehow create a new Capsum by being in the Dreamer and dreaming it up or something. LED driver. From Revice till Gottschalk, we had seen drivers that are used by multiple people, which has an LED screen on the front that plays simple sprite animations representing the gimmick items. With the Capsums already having pixel art animations as part of its design, I can definitely see them releasing another one of these drivers that features the Capsum's pixel art animations but much more simplified. New CEO. I think that Code is gonna get the new head leader at some point in the story, probably a malicious one. Much like how Hidden Intelligence was taken over by Guy Amatsu for a bit, Baku would likely get fired from his job as a Kamen Rider. Baku has a falling out with Zero. These two are gonna have a huge disagreement over something and part ways, maybe even resulting in a physical brawl. Don't worry, they will have to make up later and join forces again, cause what is a rider without their bike? Crying for a bike. I think Baku's gonna cry for Zero after he dies somehow. And finally, I think Nox is gonna die, and most likely gonna get revived too. And those are all of my theories and predictions on what will happen in Kamen Rider Z's throughout its story. Here's the full bingo board of all of my theories that I will fill out throughout the year in my reviews. You can use it if you want. Which one of these do you think will happen in the show? Or which would happen? And what are your personal predictions and theories? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, see ya!